Hello, I'm the happiest man in hell tonight. Thank you all. You guys are wherever you are. I'm from hell, in my location. This is Stone Soup Poetry. Tonight's feature is John Compton, whose latest collection is the full-length poetry book, My Husband Holds My Hand Because I Drift Away and Be Lost Forever in the Vortex of a Crowded Store, and that was published with Flower Song Press of December of last year. So we're on the year anniversary of the book, and that's the longest. I think that even beats Pearl Jam's "Elderly Woman Behind the Counter of a Yada Yada" title. So congrats to you, and we are getting ready to go. And our features gonna come on after the open mic. The Ramdonator 5000 coincidentally has selected the favorite person I like to start with, especially after long month of politics and what have you. Let's welcome up Trish, aka Patricia Kerrigan.
Hi, how you doing? Okay, keep it in the political tree. Keep it in the spirit of the upcoming Christmas holiday and the administration. Trump's Christmas tree, fast food ornaments dripping in golden grease. Trump's Christmas tree, fast food ornaments dripping in golden grease. MAGA dog breaks east wings of ornaments. Cat gets the blame. MAGA dog breaks east wings of ornaments. Cat gets the blame. Rudolph and Friends, MAGA dinner for 9. Rudolph and Friends, MAGA dinner for 9. Santa meets ice, illegal entry, gifts confiscated. Santa meets ice, illegal entry, gifts confiscated. Finally, ice cometh down the chimney, Chihuahuas attack. Ice cometh down the chimney, Chihuahuas attack. Thank you. Stay safe. And let's hear for the Epstein files.
Let's see what happens. We're gonna find out
Yeah,
if Bubba
I
is.
know
If
it's
we're gonna
got to
find
go
out
through
who
the
Bubba
House,
is.
the
Is
Senate.
it is it Bubba
Like,
Clinton? Is it Bubba? Is it Bubba the Love Sponge? Is it Bubba the Talking Horse? Who knows? We
who the
are.
hell knows? They're
Is it the
all,
Hubba Bubba Cowboy from those classic Hubba Bubba bubblegum commercials?
well, it's
Who
all
knows?
triple X. It's all triple X. Trust
There
me.
we go.
I wasn't there.
There. Good Lord. Hey, thank you so much. And Remninator 5000 is now going back to Mr. Carl Stillwell. Haven't seen him for a little bit. Let's make sure your mic's unmuted. And then the podium is
Okay.
yours.
Okay. Orange Prez says you speak Spanish. You look Mexican. Go back to where you come from. Orange Prez got a God complex. Data shows DC violence crime at 30-year low. Says there's a big crime wave there since National Guard to become the nation's capital. Orange Prez got a God complex. Says without evidence, Venezuelan fishing boats, drug vessels. Orders at least 20 military strikes against them in international waters, killing some 80 people. Orange Prez has got a God complex. Scientist says if we want to stick around, we need to keep oil in the ground. Says he knows better. Drill, baby, drill. Orange Press has got a God complex. Says 10-year-old reporter from Scholastic News, U.S. president is wearing no clothes. Moreover, origin hair is dye. Prez sues nasty kid for defamation. Holds lavish Great Gatsby party at Mar-a-Lago. Over 40 million people lose SNAP benefits. Jesus says, when you feed the hungry, you feed me. Christ quote, not an orange presence. upside down Bible. And I'd like to conclude with a poem, one of my favorite poems by Edna St. Vincent Millay called Conscientious Objector. I shall die, but that is all that I shall do for death. I hear him leading his horse out of the stall. I hear the clatter on the barn floor. He is in haste. He has business in Cuba, business in the Balkans, many calls to make this morning, but I will not hold the bridle while he clinches the girth. And he may mount by himself, I will not give him a leg up. Though he flick my shoulders with his whip, I will not tell him which way the fox ran. With his hoof on my breast, I will not tell him where the black boy hides in the swamp. I shall die, but this is all that I shall do for death. I am not on his payroll. I will not tell him the whereabouts of my friends, nor my enemies either. Though he promised me much, I will not map him the route to any man's door. Am I a spy in the land of the living, that I should deliver men to death? Brother, the password and the plans of our city are safe with me. Never through me shall you be overcome. Thank you.
You, Carl Stillwell, aka Kaloki. Always great to have you here.
Thank you. Always great to be here from Pasadena, California to Boston. Always great to come.
No East Coast, West Coast battle here.
Yeah.
And other good news, well, bad news is we lost Joanna Nealon, but calling from hell, I can tell you that she is not here and she is up in the heavens. Joanna Nealon was someone who could not join us online or was not able to, but she was a regular performer when Stone Soup was in Cambridge and almost anywhere else in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early aughties. Passed away at 91. Working on some kind of tribute for her. Me and Mary were at the wake. Mary was at the funeral, so we will hopefully discover if there's going to be some kind of tribute like that. I want to talk to her husband, Ken, and we'll see how that goes. Up next, let's bring up Robert Doodle Pickled Cucumbers, aka Robert Fleming, the visual poet from Delaware. See what he's got for us.
Thank you, Chad. Tonight, Bill and I are going to do a special tribute to cannibal potatoes. But we're going to start with something lighter to get us in the mood. These are the different ways that potatoes can be prepared, and I'd ask you to put the number of your favorite way a potato is prepared in the chat so we can have some voting and democracy tonight.
You gotta do the mashed potato. Boo, 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 the mashed potato. Ba, 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 ba.
Thank you, Bill.
Just trying to help.
And here are the cannibal potatoes from Idaho. On the left is Spud Blade, and on the right is Spud Saw. And here is Sweet Spud Chainsaw. And these are all of their victims.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Oh.
And here are their wanted signs. Spud Blade wanted for murder in Idaho.
Oh.
And Spud Saw wanted for murder in Idaho.
That ketchup?
No.
And here we have Sweet Potato Chainsaw, also wanted for murder in Idaho. And here we're going to have Bill's going to help me out with an interview. He's going to be the field reporter in Idaho. With the reopening of the U.S. government, there are cannibal potatoes in Idaho. Going to our Idaho correspondent, Bill. What are cannibal potatoes, Bill?
Is this real news or fake news?
No, I'm asking you to answer the question. What are cannibal potatoes?
Oh, we have had several cans of bull potatoes. Now, bull potatoes are larger than normal potatoes, and that's why it's so hard to get them in the can. And oh, wait, cannibal. Yes, yes. So, cannibal potatoes have been eating other potatoes regularly in the fields. It is a horrendous situation, and we're looking forward to the police coming in and dealing with this situation. It is just gross and terrible.
Thank you, Bill. Are cannibal potatoes real or fake news?
Yes, they are. And that is why we are here to cover this potato disaster, whether it's real or fake. It is important that we report to it.
Spud Blade, Spud Saw, and Spud Sweet Chainsaw are at large in Idaho. Have you seen them?
No, I personally have not seen them, as you can still see that I have all of my pieces together. But my good friend, Mr. Potato Head, was recently attacked. So we know that it is actually happening. He lost one of his ears and half of his nose.
And have you eaten any of those spuds?
As we went to bury them, well, we cut out their eyes and buried their eyes, and the rest of them, they were just so delicious. There's some things you just can't turn down. This really well-boiled mashed potato is so wonderful.
Thank you, Bill. Has the governor sent a bounty amount for these potato cannibals, and how much is it?
Oh my goodness gracious, it is $267 per can of bull. So it is absolutely a wonderful opportunity for people to get out there and make some spare money in their spare time, in their spare vehicle.
Thank you, Bill. And Dwayne Dog Chapman is a famous bounty hunter. Has Dwayne agreed to bring in the potatoes?
Wayne always agrees to bring in the potatoes, but somehow when things happen, he's never quite around. He always comes in afterwards, making as if he had done all the cleanup himself. But he comes into town and there are peels laying left and right down the streets. There are entire spuds that are just blasted to pieces. It is a horrific situation. And no, Dwayne the dog is a dog, I'm afraid.
Thank you, Bill. There's been claims that the cannibal potatoes are eating cats and dogs. Is this real or fake news, Bill?
Yes, it is real or fake news. Of course, if a cannibal potato was eating a cat or dog, that would not be cannibalism. That would be normal predation. And so I do not believe that any cannibal potatoes have been eating either cats or dogs.
Thank you, Bill. Can a potato eat a person?
Well, they're not supposed to. When in cannibal schools, we teach them who they're allowed to eat and who they're not allowed to eat. So eating persons is not on the menu officially, although we know some of our more wild students have been known to drop out and do untold things to human beings.
Thank you, Bill. That's all the time we have. Now we're returning to Chad at the studio for the weather.
You're crazy, Robert. You crazy man.
Thank you, Robert Fleming. The popcorn you're eating has been pissed in. Film at 11. Um, all right, let's. I know Mark knows that reference. I know you know. You have that same mind. God help us. And in all that time, has the Ramdonator 5000 found a suitable follow-up to that? Um, or has it failed? And the answer is much like Bill's answering about fake or real news, the answer is yes. We have the poet of Three Rivers, Richard Spizak.
Thank you, my friend. An honor to be here with you as always. Many of you are familiar with a poet and publisher named Finn Bell. Finn publishes a regular magazine, and she sets up a premise that one is to address. Well, as one might expect at this time of the year, she set up a holiday premise. And now it seems to me that all the holidays, the typical ones, are just so done. You know, June Moon, hey, forget about it. So I did a little research and came up with some unusual holidays that you might want to join me in celebrating. So here we go. This poem is called These Three Holidays That I'll Describe That You Might Spy as You're Traipsing There Upon the Earth or just wandering by. As holiday season approaches, sometimes in donkey carts, sometimes in coaches, one might spy with your little eye the most splendid seasonal celebrations, not everywhere, but in certain peculiar stations. The Krampus celebration you might spot. If in mighty Europe you might hop, where a gigantic horned figure you could, oh my God! If you were careless and heedless of propriety, when you shopped for just the good little kitties, they get their rewards. But for the others, it seems they get the sword. Where Krampus tramps and humps and stomps, where the bad little kitties get their dumps, the horned figure gets no rest. He finds out where the baddies do their best. And as for the good kids, they get their reward. But for the others, no doubt you've heard, the baddies get theirs because snarling, barling Krampus really cares. Then I ask you to turn instead to the holiday of radishes. On the 23rd of December, you might spy a splendid celebration that might meet your eye. A miniature village, a herd of special llamas all spread before you in miniature, all carved to boot from that colorful root. The radish, you might say, had its own special day, but you'd be wrong. Should you sing that song, for the radish, not the cabbage, has instead its night, which you might as well correct yourself, you silly. Get it right. The night of the radishes is pure delight. You'll find there on display entire villages carved on a single radish. You might see the tiny rabbi there speaking Kaddish. You might spot a plot from Hamlet on one side with Juliet on her balcony as her karma collides with young Romeo, speckled and spotted where he spotted, oh, so pungent and colorful a root, arrayed and displayed on its festive eve. I do believe on another radish dish you might find the ample behind of some ingenue, with her retinue reclining, taking sun or shade, if you will, in the eventide, and in celebrations where you find the time, the herds of hamsters carved from radishes, horses, mules, don't get these confused, all carved from radishes that night on display, then all over swamped in salad dressing the very next day. And then last but not least, I invite you to come with me to Galway in Sweden, a Swedish town not near Galway. They build each year a gigantic goat with very special species there. You might take note. They build each year from scented sweet hay in bundles. They're a giant goat. It's the Galway goat. It was what you saw, all decked in red ribbons made of straw. But you could be among those who'd placed a bet on the heated fate of where the Galway got to yet. Well, it seems that each year its dubious fate is quite contentious, as you might state. There are those who find a mischievous sport and a chance to set their minds to sparking for a lark set it ablaze. Sometimes it's burnt fast in just a few short days. Some say for sport or to protest, but in the end, either way, it's just ashes that were left. So I say to Galway with its suspicious or malicious fiery goat, I say to Galway, humanity is fickle, son. Please take note, for if you too may your seasonal be reasonable, extend your hosting to support such Yuletide pranks, these smoky goaty dotings without police blotters, lest the plotters snort. Happy holidays.
I have to admire a man who can rhyme radish with coddish. That's your next challenge is orange. Let's move on and let's introduce one of our newer faces to the group. We have a lot of people tonight. We're gonna get to everyone we can. Let me grab the next person over here. Let's go to Amy McDougall.
I forgot to change my name whenever I signed in. My pen name is Sabna Rosnick, Sabneraznik. My bad. Sometimes I forget to do that. And I'm going to be reading a poem from this collection, Linger to Look. It came out in 2015. This is Scream in the Dark. And I'll put my website in the chat after I'm finished reading if y'all want to go and see what books are available. Some of them are free. Scream in the Dark. Man inherits the ancient sin, searching for strength at the broken places I live by breathing in and out, but believe I am capable of more. The gods argue, I acquiesce. Little makes free, nothing ever really imprisons. Eager but not unmindful, I seek the finger hole and finger hold. Making music with everyday words, snatching at graspables, patches of daylight, pieces of sod, shattered dreams rise like smoke. Overcharred nights with dim yellow lights, and always the not so subtle ache of hope. No more lightning, no more thunder. Please, are you listening? The gods shake the floorboards over my head. Take a knife in the darkness, red glint, anger glow of its edge to sever the blinding, to discover the lies. Stab, 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 stab at the blackness, and it weeps. The bloody evil weeps. Who said I had something left to lose? Growing into defiance, hardening into near lifeless obsidian need, I swallow adrenaline to vomit back out. Slow down, feel bruises, let wounds ooze. Unwind this like a lifting kite and divide. Internalize the issue, ask no more of it. Read myself in Fatih Morkid, Ahmed Barakat. Submit to must do. Not enough. Not enough snow in this story. Not enough hope. A token of what was hanging broken at the neck, but hanging still like the dog tags of the dead. The gods drop a morsel, none too late. Got to hand it to the beatniks. At least they were unafraid. I wonder and I wait. Is there a saving of me? I am Salome Scheherazade. It is a matter of survival, not of love, but it could be. Impossible as it should be, it certainly could be. So there you go. Thank you for letting me read.
You are very welcome, and please put in the website and your name in the chat, just so I know how to address you on the list that I write up, or that the Ramdonator 5000 writes up. It's totally a
Thank you.
expensive computer.
Sure will.
Let's go. Okay, great. Let's go to who do we have next? Let's go. We haven't heard from Rita Rusty Rose yet. Let's bring her
Yes,
up.
thank you. I'm going to read a poem from a book that'll come out later this year entitled Before I Leave. This poem is called Reunited for Chris Thompson. Youthful years passed since Christy and Rusty partied hardy in Washington Square Park and on to the Stonewall Inn. She with her puffed afro, silver African queen bangles, and black power buttons. Me with hippie threads, fringed moccasins, and pin on make love, not war buttons. Who would have thought from a serendipitous meet a friendship would blossom? I was shaking a tambourine, belting out tunes between arch and fountain, when Christy sang along, Vinny toe-tapped, Marcia danced, and Sylvia dropped spare change into my felt hat. That very night, Marcia went uptown. Sylvia sat at a tranny bar off the square. I, Vinny, and Christy got down at the bar. We were there when it devolved into chaos. Since then, springtime went wayside, yielded into autumn. Fortunately, pride sought and brought us together. Nowadays, old friends are no longer, yet Christy and I remain tight. We jingle tambourines while singing nostalgic tunes. Often we muse about the bittersweet past, our shared history gone by. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Let's go to Miss Jen Rowe, the Black Seed Writers Group, the Stone Soup OG Live crowd, and so much more.
Here she goes.
Thank you. So, with the Black Scene Writers getting a weekly and being involved with it over a decade, so these papers stack up. So, I've had to thin some. And here's one from November 2 years ago by me, Violence versus Peace. One recently housed, now unhoused person wanted to hurt a mentally other unhoused person. He objects if I say homeless. So I was urging peace. The one that wanted to hurt him justified saying, do unto others as they do unto you, or do unto others before they do unto you. I told him, I'm no biblical scholar, but I think you're misquoting the scripture that says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. He agreed. That changes things. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. And let's see who the Remninator is brought up next. Let's go with Generalissimo Brian Franco.
Thank you. Is it just one poem?
Yeah, one or two medium shortish ones.
Okay, let's see what we have here. This first one, I just found out got nominated for a pushcart. It was in the Norwalk Poetry Workshop anthology. It's called The Final Renunciation of a Citizenship. She stared at the home she was raised in, a home her father carved from swampy woodland, a place that should not feel foreign to her but did. Her mother passed 3 years prior from emphysema, diagnosed over 30 years after quitting smoking. Her father remained there. She asked him to move in with her and the kids. He declined. He needed the familiarity of this structure, much of which came from trees on the land. The wide plank pecanwood floors were a slight pinkish color that qualified as muted rust. The rough-hewn ponderosa pine walls felt and looked like cedar but smelled sweeter. The porch railing, which was originally metal, was replaced with crepe myrtle branches harvested from trees her mom asked her dad to plant that he crepe murdered 3 years later. He committed crepe murder every other year since and fashioned branches into canes he gave as gifts to elderly friends and relatives or sold at the church holiday bazaar. This now empty home was a rebirth of things taken from the land. Now empty of both her parents, furniture, and bric-a-brac, she relinquished its future to a real estate agent. She walked across the floor. She ran her fingers along the walls. The stairs still had a telltale squeak on the fourth to last step. After she realized the hand-scrolled molding in her childhood bedroom was a love letter from father to daughter. Its memory sweetened her sleeping dreams for years. And I have this brand new piece, which doesn't have a title yet. Although I think maybe the first 3 words might end up being the title. I readily admit I'm an imposter. I am by no means a master of disguise. If I tried to disguise myself with makeup or wardrobe, I have no doubt I'd stick out like a sore thumb. I am an imposter. I do not have a syndrome or disorder. I am just another person who wakes up every day and sees the same person in the bathroom mirror, yet feels who he is staring at is not who he is supposed to be or needs to be or wants to be. I am an imposter, despite that everyone I know recognizes me when I feel I am someone who might as well be a Russian spy version of myself, like in the TV show Alias, but no one but me, AKA's my existence. They see me, not the new imposter me I see every day I wake up and look in the mirror at, wishing there was someone else there. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Bring it over to Mr. Bill Lewis if he wants to come back after being an interviewee and do one piece individually. And maybe he doesn't. Okay, let's. He's probably in the other room. Let's. Who does the Remnator want to go to now? Let's go to Mr. Mark States.
Every Pluto wants to bloviate like they're a Jupiter, puffing themselves up all full of gas, bragging over how many minion moons they have hanging around in their orbit. Oh, and if they're married, Saturns, who have to show off that ring, boast about their gang of babies, as they say, chips off the old rock. Plutos avoid comparison to Earth, which is perceived as a deadbeat dad raising a child from a previous relationship by itself, while the man and the system rob it blind and oppress it through any means unnecessary to the razor's edge of existential collapse. A Pluto will say almost anything to convince you that Mercury and Venus are burnouts masquerading as hotshots, that they have game and can chase the tail off any comet, and that Pluto is the real deal and not at all like any of those common asteroids littering their neighborhood. Plutos are ice cold, keeping their distance lest the blemishes in their stories become too visible and obvious to the skeptical eye on the other side of the lens. Plutos want the glamour and mystique, and their name on everyone's lips while clothing themselves in shadows. To be a celebrity and a star without expending much energy or doing the hard work. Plutos think they are the center of everything and talk behind what it believes is its star's back. Because Pluto sees no Sharpie drawn smiley face. But talk as they will, they can never truly steal the sun's shine, for Pluto do not grasp the gravity of their situation, their outlier place in the nature of things, mere pebbles kicked across a cosmic street.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
I'd like to bring up next Andy Kaufman Horowitz. Can't wait to hear her work.
Thank you. So this is a persona poem, and it is in my newly published book, thanks to Sir John. And it is called Evolution of Adaptation. Sunday, I remind my partner I've had 10 times as many shrinks as lovers. Monday, blacked out, buried beneath cotton comfort. There will be no need for shade. Blank eyes wake while my body lingers behind sleep. My pets, darkness and silence, nip at my feet. I scribble away the colors of dawn, bird song, the smell of dew, but all I write comes out in black and white. Stillborn, I can't get out of bed. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will smoke enough to gaslight a house. Learn my truth through fire, sip straight from bottles of Jack. I'll call myself a poet, hemorrhaging my soul on paper, in books, on streets, and once again secretly smirk at my capacity for grit. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I like that. Thank you. Hope you come back again.
Thank you.
And now let's bring up Bill Lewis if he wants to do anything in
Oh,
addition
yes, yes,
to
yes, yes,
being
yes,
the
yes. Oh,
interview
thank you,
subject.
thank you,
Okay.
thank you. I'm so excited. Can I have sharing permission, please? I'd like to show you some of the beautiful pictures that I have to share with you. So if I could
You're
possibly
all
do that, that would be so kind. Thank you, Chadford. We were speaking last of a story I wrote about an imaginary kid in Tallinn, and I wanted to give you a little tour of my adopted town before we learn more about dear little Yuri. So this is Tana Linn, literally the Danish town, Tana Linn. So this is the town where in a great battle, God dropped the flag of Denmark to the ground so that people, and that was where the flag of Denmark came from, this great battle, which is, oh well, like 5 million years ago. But look at it, so beautiful, the old town. And the great Russian church in the center of it. And this is where I set my stories, spending so many days here walking up and down and just touring the town. And new bus systems. Here is my apartment. My friend lent me his father's apartment after his father died. So I lived here for 3 months. And everything in Estonia was just getting better and better and better. The moment the Soviets left, oh my God, the whole city just erupted in a explosion of rebuilding and remodeling and refurbishing. And here are my friends. I spent several weeks in Estonia, and they hosted me, this lady here on the far side. Well, she was my host, and we she speaks German, I speak German, so we talked in German, which is really cool. And she talked about the war, and it was just terrifying when the socialists came back and drove the Nazis out. They just wiped out 1/3 of the country. Her mother took all of her letters and burned them so that the Soviets wouldn't kill them. And it was just like, so terrifying. But anyway, they were wonderful people. And there we are. Look, a Sun Microsystems computer in Tallinn Technical University. And oh, well, there's lots of snow in Tallinn. You're not surprised at that. And a great memorial for dead people. There are a lot of dead people. And we would go out. My friends would take me out in different places. And here we are at 3 a.m. after having too much fun with old friends. And they were singing, all these great songs about being in the Communist Youth Party and being all Estonians. They would sing secret songs about we are going to cut Estonia off from the rest of Europe and we'll float out into the ocean and be free from the Soviets. And here we are on Tompeia, the Capitol Hill, and these little girls were sledding, and it was looking like so much fun that I came up to them and I bowed very politely and I smiled and I pointed at the sled and I pointed at me and they lent me the sled and I took the sled and I took my zip down the hill, which is very exciting. I took the sled back to them, bowed deeply, thanked them for the honor of sledding down their hill. And that's is my experience in Estonia. And so that's where my little story comes from. And I think we'll learn more about, I'll read more later. I just will stick here. You've had a tour, and I will read next week.
Thank you, Bill. Looking forward to hearing more. Let's see who we have next. We got a few more people. Let's see. Revenue has checked off a lot of people. Let's go. I think we have next. I think Ron Bremner was here for a minute. Oh, looks like he's out of the room. So we'll go to. We'll wait for him to come back. We'll go back to John Wezick.
Okay, hello. Yes, I've also been to Estonia. I went to the little Kiknu Island where all the Wessings come from. Looked for where my grandfather came from. This is my latest book of short stories, Saint John the Blasphemer, and I'll read you the opening of one of the stories. It's called Product Placement Theater Presents Farewell, My Duckling. It was May, and the sky was as blue as a silver inlaid turquoise nipple ring, available at Totally Turquoise. That's Totally Turquoise, for gifts that'll impress your mistress at prices your wife won't notice. My name is Morris Pillbottle, and the marketing deal I made to supplement my income as a private detective let me afford a chicken salad sandwich at Nicky Santoro's, which orbited the Three-Body Hotel's chaotic lobby. The chicken was thin as an anorexic with liposuction on my bread. Given my expanding waistline, I suppose that was a good thing. The place was busy. A loan shark held court in front of a line of men with broken fingers who promised they'd get him his money by Tuesday. Despite the crowd, the courteous staff at Nicky Santoro's found me a seat at the counter in no time. I was about to order another Bangalore IPA when a man the size of a Ford Exterminator SUV burst into the hotel lobby and bellowed, "Wilma, it's Ham Hock Peterman, I'm back!" He wore a cotton spandex sport jacket with side vents, notched lapels, and stretch panels, available for just $189 plus shipping and handling from Dale's Big and Tall. That's Dale's Big and Tall, the number one choice of debt collectors and mob enforcers. Guests fled after Hammock picked up a cash register and threw it through the revolving door. Hopefully, the hotel was covered by Half Dome Insurance, the company arsonists endorsed 2-1. "What seems to be the problem?" the assistant manager asked. He was a part-timer with hair styled at Budget Sam's Hair and Lawnmower Repair, the salon that provides a professional look at new parolee prices. "Before I went to the joint, Wilma Willoughby led the duck parade from the lobby fountain up the elevator to room 301 every night. Where is she?" "Sir, we haven't held the duck parade since new management took over 7 years ago." "Where's my Wilma?" The big man's fist pounded the assistant manager like a double-sided 12.5-inch meat tenderizer, available for just $14.99 at Al's Discount Cookware. Al would like you to know that he wasn't responsible for the exploding pizza oven. And remember, if it dropped off a truck, you can find it at Al's. When the big man had pounded the victim thin enough to dip in egg batter and deep fry into a schnitzel, I wondered whether Wilma was a woman or a bird served with scallions, hoisin sauce, and Chinese pancakes, available by special order at the Shanghai Triad at 3rd and Bund. Open at 10 a.m. from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday through Sunday. To be continued. And I'll put a link to my book in the chat.
Next week, the final conflict between Pillbottom and Mr. Popeo. Oh wow. Let's how do we move on from that? Best we can. Ron Bremer is not there as near as I can tell.
His dog was crying.
His what?
His dog was crying. He had to step out.
Oh, God. All right, let's hope he's all right. I don't know if Sean Fritz wants to read. If not, if so or not, let me know in the comments. But I think we are ready for Mr. Ethan Mackler. Thank you, Mr. Mackler. The co-host of the Malden, Massachusetts-based Controverse Open Mic Carrying Tradition, also started by not by him, not only by him, but also co-host Anna Jeffrey and the late great Jeff Taylor. I believe a show is coming up this Monday, correct?
That is correct.
Who's the feature?
I do not know offhand. Sorry.
Fair enough. Neither do I. So who am I to judge? Okay. So, but I'll put news of that as soon as I can on the Stone Soup Facebook page. Ron, if you're feeling up to read, you are ready. We are ready for you.
Sure. I'm just going to read one haiku that comes from my book, You Who Are the Stranger. This is a book with some blank verse, some free verse, some metrical verse, some prose poetry, and even four haiku. And here we go. Like brown scattered leaves, scattered, excuse me, like brown withered leaves, scattered by shimmering winds, do leaves drift away. Thank you. That's all.
You're muted, Chad.
I'm doing whoops. Okay. Um, all right. So hope your dog's okay, Ron. And we're gonna go to the person who generally closes for Stone Soup's open mic. Let's go to Mr. James Van Loy. Check out his column, It's All One Thing, featured at oddballmagazine.com every Thursday at 11 a.m. James?
Thanks, Chad. Thank you. So I have a poem here which is called Survivor at the Center. And it's got a little quotation here from Samuel Beckett. It goes, I tried to groan, help, help, but the tone that came out was that of polite conversation. Survivor at the center. There's nothing like a fire to teach you about how the center explodes on out from a tiny flame to take on over the rear of the 3-story square box. So the 3-tiered back porch becomes a wall of flame and smoke, black and choking sparks flying up away. We smelled it before we saw it, and there we were with a whole house still standing, full of books and papers, boxes and bags of clothes, everything accumulated over 50 years of city life. I keep thinking about staying in abandoned houses under reconstruction back in the 70s, waking one night in a dark house to see the flames of a stolen car leaping up in a vacant lot across the street ablaze, telling me I wasn't in Bay City or really even Brownsville anymore. No, I was in big time, East Coast Boston, wasn't I now? And here's a little song. The Eastern world, it is exploding, violence flaring, bullets loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, but what's that gun you're toting? And even the Jordan River has bodies floating, but you tell me over and over and over again, my friend. You don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say? Can't you feel the fears I'm feeling today? If that button is pushed, there's no running away. There'll be no one to save with the world in the grave. Take a look around you, boy. It's bound to scare you, boy. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Yeah, my blood's so mad, feels like coagulating. I'm sitting here just contemplating. I can't trust the truth. It knows no regulation. Head full of senators don't pass legislation, and marches alone can't bring integration where human respect is disintegrating. The crazy world is just too frustrating, and you tell me over and over and over again, my friend. Yeah, don't believe we're on the eve of destructions. No, 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 you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Peace.
I remember seeing a little mini doc on that song not too long ago. That might be the most modern song I've heard you sing. Well, you're not singing Tupac or Notorious B.I.G. You're just saying, but
He did
I
some
like that. That
Dylan.
one. I wonder if he was like before, after Dylan. But anyway, but
Mid 60s, like 65 or something.
oh, I always thought 70s.
No, no, it was the mid 60s, and they canceled him. They wouldn't have after that song. The radio wouldn't play anything that he wrote.
Next year in 2026, I hope to hear a rap hip hop song from James and Chad as a duo.
Oh, good Lord. Straight out of
I
Boston.
want to hear that too.
Jesus, God help me.
Barry was on the PBS documentaries that they did of all that music from the 60s. So he did sing that song for PBS.
I don't know why I thought he was 70s, but my bad. Well, thank you, James, and thanks to everyone who came out to read tonight or just to listen. And you're probably waiting for me to shut up and get to the feature, which I will do. Quick reminder, I have to put the information over the next couple of days. Stone Soup will be meeting on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. There's a bunch of people who aren't working the next day, of course, and some of them have the Wednesday off. So I've gotten a couple of requests to try and at least have something. It'll be an all open mic. And then following Wednesday will be G. Email Reuter, who some of you might know as one of the co-publishers of the Fox of the North of Oxford online literary journal. Also edited the Fox Chase Review. Also is the author of many books of poetry and fiction, alongside his partner Diane Sands, who also edits North of Oxford. And check that out. Every top of the month, I post a link to that on the Stone Soup Facebook page. And Gmail has been coming to has been part of Stone Soup even when it was live. He would come from Philadelphia, the Philadelphia area, to tour and read his books. And now, for the first time in a long time, he's going to come back to us this December. He has, I believe, 2 new books out, focusing on the Trump phenom and other things around it. And I do hope you come to read his work. It's been a while since he's been with us, but he remembers all of us fondly. And I can't wait to introduce him again. And more features to be announced as they come. And now it is time to. Oh, I should also mention that the Christmas Wars calls for submission is up. Check out Oddball Magazine or check the link to Stone Soup. I also have put it out on my latest newsletter, Chad Parento's Lost Causes. Kind of the basically anti-war and Christmas phenom. Plus, Trump kind of did scorched earth when he took out the East Wing, where all the decorations of various controversial times and eras used to be on. So I think the War on Christmas may have taken a ceasefire, but fuck it. We're going to look for submissions anyway. Poems, short stories, flash fictions, artwork. The banners was supplied almost a year ahead of time due to thanks to the efforts of Robert Fleming, aka Robert Doodle Pickle. I'm not saying all that. Thank you, Robert. And I look forward to the art and the art of photography of anyone else who wants to participate. Let's keep it. We had a really good horror-thon this past October, and it was so good. Some of the work hits hard enough that I might actually still be publishing it, and even as late as next week. It could go beyond Halloween, so I'm hoping for a good showing this year as well. So now I will read the boilerplate for tonight's feature. John Compton is a new friend of Stone Soup and a longtime friend of poetry. He was born in 1987. Fuck, I feel old. And the author of 17 books and chapbooks. Now I feel lazy. Described as a gay poet writer who lives in Kentucky with his husband Josh and their dogs and cats and mice. His latest full length book is My Husband Holds My Hand Because I May Drift Away and Be Lost Forever in the Vortex of a Crowded Store with the Elderly Woman from Pearl Jam, published by Flower Song Press in December 2024. His forthcoming full-length book, House as a Cemetery, will be published with Rebel Satori Press in March 2026. His books are available via a special Linktree page, which I linked on the Stone Soup website, but I'm also going to include in the chat below. And if he wants to include any Venmos or PayPals or Cash Apps, he'll let us know in the chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have all been so very patient. Let's put your hands together. Let's say 30 to 50 times for John's Stone Soup debut as a feature. John, you don't have to clap, but we do that work for you. Virtual get the emojis going, people. Keep it going from Mr. John Compton.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And also recently, Like the other day, I found out I have another chapbook coming out next year in August from Ethel Zahn and Micropress, and it's a collaboration between me and Tommy Sheffield, and it's only one poem, but it's going to be like 16 pages. It's called The Pain Diary. So that's very exciting too. Um, so I'm going to read newer poems that aren't in the book. Because I've read the book 4 billion times. I want to read new poems. I'm sorry. And so here we go. And I like talking too, so I'll probably talk a lot between poems. This one's called Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I take the sweetest drink that's in reach, the burning down my throat like a menthol cigarette. I watch the yellow wallpaper unfurl itself, layer over me, one final edit to the body. I close my eyes. Chloroform is a prayer to heal this cancer, mushrooming. And that's that poem. So, um, I've been writing, so this, I'm working on this collection, new collection. Always working on collections. Um, I've sent my one I recently finished to the publisher. So if they accept it, hopefully it'll be out in 2027. And then I got this one I'm working on. And in the last 2 or 3 months, I've written like 60, 70 poems, which has been crazy. That's been flooding out. That's all I've been doing. But I'm doing it like it's a smorgasbord. This book is a smorgasbord. All my books are smorgasbords, but this one is really a big smorgasbord of poems of different. I'm trying different things. So here's my latest one I've written. It's called October 1989, Caverna Hospital, Horse City, Kentucky. My younger sister was born in a barn disguised as a hospital. Medical debt forced our mother away from a reputable place. The doctor came into the delivery room from his farm wearing overalls and feces caked boots, like he was expecting to pull another calf tonight. With his demeanor, we expected to hear a bawl, but an infant slid into his dirty palms. He turned to the nurse and backhandedly requested we brand her, a number 2 on the upper thigh. And that's that poem. So, thank you. So this next poem, so I have mice, and I have 5 mice, and they're in a 55-gallon aquarium, and I caught them in my house because I live in I caught 2, and then they had babies. Um, and yes, I live in the country. There's mice coming during the winter. I've had them for like over a year. They're the cutest little things. I've learned so much from my mice, that I didn't know before. They're not really that creepy or dirty creatures. They clean themselves constantly. They talk to each other. They play games. I have a milk lid in there. They pick it up and chase each other around with it. They're fascinating creatures, and I love my little mice. And it's easy because they eat anything. You don't go about nothing special. So I wrote a poem for my mice, and it's called A Poem for Mice. I lie in a field with mice, offer myself no place to hide, their small bodies against my mountainous body. These tiny creatures swell like a tsunami, the ground thick with their gray mass, drown flowers and grass. They eat them to their roots until dirt remains. Their claws cling to me. They breathe in unison. The sound coming in waves, pushing and pulling the air, their abdomens flutter. My face reflects against thousands of black eyes while I sink, while I reach out my hand. And that's that poem. Thank you. So this poem is my take on humor. I have a horrible sense of humor. For me, this is my take on humor. I was in the kitchen one night, and there's this limb that I've never seen before. It's of this bush, and the bush has got crazy. But the limb kind of just went down the window, and it was dark outside, and it creeped me out. And so I wrote this poem. It's called An Exclusive 60-Minute Interview. It is dark, but the branch slides down the window in such a creepy way I almost run from the room. And I know it is a tree, but it sends shivers with how meticulous it moves, its leaves licking the glass. And I imagine it being on a documentary about how it had broken into my house and killed me, and it's just smiling at the interviewer with no remorse, only saddened because it was cut down and apprehended. And that's that poem. Thank you. So I have a like I said, I have a horrible sense of humor. So I wrote a poem about me dying and how people would react. Um, and and if you know me, I'm a very kind person, but also an asshole. So like, if you're my friend, I will like go to the ends of the earth with you. But if you cross me, I'll try to like burn your name and destroy you. Me or someone of my friends. And not like if you're rude. Like if you do something bad, I don't care. I will run you over with a car. So I wrote this poem in a funny way. How they will welcome me once I'm dead. When they write about me, they won't have too much to say. He laid in bed like a vegetable, day in and day out, closed himself in his room and wrote poems, read books, watched TV, pissed in bottles, yelled at the world. A sour old man who let his house crumble around him like he was a seed being buried in a garden waiting to fulfill some destiny. He always wanted more than what poetry could offer. They'll come to my grave just to spit on it because I called them cowards and hypocrites, and their anger will present itself as truth. And that's that poem. Thank you. I won't read that poem. So, this poem, so I don't know if y'all have this, but I call it ladybug season. And once a year for like a month or so, there's like 10 trillion ladybugs. And I wish I was exaggerating. There's so many. They scatter across the sky. You can see them. They get in your house, and you can't even vacuum them up fast enough. There's so many. So I wrote this poem about that. It's titled The Small Season of Bugs. The ladybug beetles explode in a violent swarm, polka dotting the air like Times Square's New York's confetti or New Year's confetti. Thick in the corners, they collect like the alien bugs from Starship Troopers, like the Great Emu War of 1932. We lose. No vacuum is strong enough to save us. They cover our bodies in an orange and black pattern. We mobilize down a hallway trying to escape the horde that has taken over our house, but we collapse and die. And that's that poem. They're horrible. Oh my Lord Jesus. I've never and but the crazy part is like, and when they're gone, they're gone. They're just like one day they're just gone. I remember when I was younger, we lived in a house and you could slam the front door and they literally come off the wall. They were like the whole wall and they just come off and fly. And yeah. Okay, so this one was recently, no, not that one. This one was, I don't know I don't know why I said that. Like you knew I was changing poems. This one was recently accepted by Libre, the magazine, and what for me is exciting. It's like this. They were a paid magazine, and it was like the second time I've ever got paid from a magazine. So it was really cool. And this is titled. Ever. This titled My Last Approach to the Countryside. And it should be out like I think the 24th of this month, but y'all get to hear it sooner. The way the train rumbles across its bounded tracks, its screaming horn blares a warning signal across the soy field, which spooks the deer who lift their heads and run, the whites of their tails like mirrors reflecting the fullness of the moon in my eyes, which glow neon in the dark of the passenger car. I put my hands under my legs, palm up, and squeeze my thighs. God watches me like a child dissecting a frog. I look back up at him, naked and perforated, knowing my abdomen will take in his fingers to pull out dead formaldehyde things. His face hovering over my small body like a cat with a devilish smile. How many prayers can one man consume? I've given as much voice as I can articulate. And that's that poem. And it was really hard to hold that cough in. Woo-hoo. All right. Now I'm going to read some different ones. There's seven. And the goal was to write 7 poems with 7 syllables per line and 7 lines. And I failed. But the ones I failed on, I turned into like humorous little things. Like I kept the part I really liked, and then I'd just add a little note like this poem failed, but this part's really good, so I kept it. So I try to make it funny. But this poem is 7 lines, 7 syllables, blah 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 blah. It's and so it's poem 4. Trees are standing in protest. Trees are standing in protest. The chainsaw brings genocide. The chainsaw brings genocide. In their timber, they stay calm. In their timber, they stay calm. Houses above a mass grave. And that's that poem. So, and I'll just read one part. So, number 2, the poem is totally gone. And thank you, everyone. The poem's totally gone. So, what stands, I wrote, the original poem was completely destroyed in a tsunami. And then poem number 1 only has 2 lines. And the intro note was, I hated this poem. Only 2 lines survived. And the 2 lines are, some fond thing that scissors its way through your everyday. But yeah, so I try to make like it humorous since I destroyed all the poems. Except out of 7, there's like 3 whole ones. So I'm gonna read a very political poem. I saved it more for last because I didn't. Because if you leave, you got to hear some of my poems at least. So I did like 13 or 14 poems, and I was watching art documentaries. I love documentaries. I watch art writers, poets, screenwriters, everyone I can. And so I did 13 poems, I believe, study a figure, and it's 1 through 13. So this one is 3. The peregrine falcon stoops with such velocity, the prey's body ripples, then plunges to the ground. The neck bleeds off. The neck bleeds out like an open valve, more than I could have ever imagined. The beautiful river cascades down the chest in an offset of white snow. I switch and watch Star Trek, where Captain Kirk grants clemency to Khan Noonien. That's that poem. And I probably pronounced the Khan's last name wrong, but I did my best. And that's like one of the few times I reference actual like shows, pop culture, but I thought it was fitting for the poem as a reference of Captain Kirk. But so yeah, so are the poems in the study of figures are mostly protest poems. And I got a rejection. I sent some out and I got a rejection. And they said these poems are too violent. We can't publish them. And I'm like, well, for me, that was like a note I did right or I did correctly because they were my pro they're yeah, I try to get my point across. So let's see. Okay, so and then I did a section of skinning poems and I read one or two. Um so I wanted to take I love you, Amy. I wanted to take Christianity and horrible imagery and I combined it together. Um and not to call Amy out. She's just like my bestest friend. And I never want to offend her. So this first one is called Skinning Flesh. And I think I have like enough for one more poem, so I'll read this one. Skinning flesh. Blood from the deer hanging upside down from the branch, her head facing hell. Streams like music from her mouth. One slit in each leg, the rope, her crucifix, splayed to be disemboweled. My father at her forefront, giving her his prayers. And that's that poem. And so the image of it was Jesus, the idea I got was Jesus on the cross with Mary at his feet. And so I took the deer as hung and my father at its feet. And so that's where that poem come from. But anyhow, this was super fun. I think I only had 15 minutes. If I'm not mistaken, I read longer. But thank you everyone for being here. And I loved everyone's poems and I enjoyed everything. And the skit was hilarious. And thank you.
If you want to do one more encore, that would be awesome.
Read one more poem.
Yeah, let's do an encore.
All right. So I just read another skinning poem. So this one is called Skinning Scales. The bluegill on the post-mortem table, its dead eyes shrined like a spike, each scale a splinter. The man takes a fish scaler knife to shear open each wound until the flesh has repented. Its meat becomes a sacrament. And that's that poem. Oh, thank you.
So what's the title of your next book coming out?
The next one is called House is a Cemetery,
Oh,
and
right,
it's
right.
coming out through Rebel Satari Press in March. And then the
Yeah,
Pain
there's one after
Diary,
that.
the Pain Diary is chapbook, and it's coming out in August 2026. And if all goes well, Sacrifice for the Wildflowers will be out in 2027 through Rebel Satari Press.
Weren't you doing a poetry journal through Substack just a little while ago?
Oh yeah, I had a magazine and I was publishing a poem a day. And then after about 2 months, the submissions died. But that's okay. It was fun while it was lasted and it was exciting. And so, but you know, people get busy, things trail off. I really wasn't promoting it because I did Ghost City Review for 2.5 years and I had over 500 submissions every month, and I did everything myself except for put it on the internet or on the website. But I would accept, reject, make the issues. I made a monthly issue, and so I resigned from there. And then someone's like, "You should do a magazine." I was like, "Yeah, that would be fun." I kind of miss it, so I wanted it to be very small, and so I really didn't promote it, and I just let people I know who knew me submit and stuff. And so, after a while, um, after people who know you submit and stuff, and then it kind of pitters out if you don't promote anything. But I didn't want 500 submissions a month.
I don't blame you.
I wanted like 30 a month.
Well, if you ever get to where you miss doing a journal again, I can always use help at mine.
Oh, of course. I'd love to help
Just offering.
because I love doing it, but just I have health issues now, and I had to like pull back on a lot of stuff, which is sad, but I still try to do stuff, but I get so fatigued lately. I just feel like a blob.
I
I just
understand. I understand.
But yeah, and I
Well,
fall and oh, sorry, I was just gonna
go
keep
on.
talking. I was gonna say, and the new thing is I fall down. I like black out and fall down now. That's super exciting. The only good thing is I don't feel it when I fall. I just know I fall and I get back up. But luckily, like it doesn't hurt because I'm not, conscious of it.
Hmm.
I'm just like, oh, look at me. And it really only happens when I'm in the house because I don't walk around with my cane because I'm like, the walls are close enough. But occasionally, you walk through a middle of a room.
Oh,
The walls are not close.
I'm famous for walking away from my walker, and then I'm like, "Where's my walker?"
Oh, I lose my cane all the time in the house. I set it somewhere and don't know where it is.
And then my mom gets mad at me because she's like, "I've fallen, I can't get up, so I have to call her." And she's like, "Well, where was your walker?" I walked away from it. We all
This,
do
the,
that,
we-
John.
The
It's
weirdest
because
moment of
you're.
absent-mindedness was I went into a bathroom stall at one point and there was a person's walker as if they had just placed it there and sat down, but there was no one
Mhm.
in the stall. So I'm like, what happened here? Like that.
It's because you need your
The-
walker like it's your legs, but it's not literally your legs, and your brain doesn't read it that way. And so sometimes you'll
Mhm.
just walk off, and then you're like, later on, you'll be like, okay, I need my legs, but then you've done walked off and left your legs.
Uh-huh.
I
Which
mean,
is
And
damn
it's
strange because
craziest
they would have
thing
had
too, because oh, sorry.
it was just weird. It was just weird with me because the guy would have had to either step over the walker or just like because it was a thin small stall, so it's either he jumped over the walker or he got out and then just said fuck it and threw the walker into the stall. I'm just like he realized he didn't need it. It's
probably
the
the
strangest
second
Maybe
one.
he got flushed down the toilet.
That's what I was thinking. The toilet got him.
Oh, don't be
Yeah.
childish, but anyway.
He probably had somebody with him, and it was his caregiver that was with him that forgot the walker. That's probably
Maybe.
how that went.
I've met enough caregivers to believe that. Some of them are not the sharpest knives in the drawer, sorry to say, but sorry to say. I say that because my sister married one, but I get to pick on him. But at any rate, thank you so much, John. And whatever you start next, be it another magazine, someone else's magazine, we'll always welcome your work and how you display it. Don't be a stranger here to Stone Soup.
Oh,
It gets
I just want to say sometimes I'm so fatigued and tired that like I just have no energy. Or other times I'll get there and then I'll just lay in bed and listen. But I don't want to look rude because, I like to like pay attention, but sometimes I just don't have the energy. So like I'll try to like raise my hands up in the camera view and clap.
Well, don't worry, Bill. Turn it up, turn the volume up high, and Bill Lewis's spot will wake you up.
Yes.
So works for me every reading. But anyway, the anyway, this is a fantastic night. Thank you so much for sharing your work. And thanks to everyone who, if you came here specifically because you're connected to John, it would be great to have you here. I've been building a mini micro empire of poets from all across the states, and the more of you guys that show up, the better. It could be like this every week. All we need is you. And if we have a fun time for everyone to shine next week, because it'll be an all open mic round robin, two rounds of everyone who gets on the slot, and a nice little prelude to Thanksgiving and joining the family. So it'd be great to see you. We're doing this, as far as we can tell, every Wednesday for the near future between 7 and 9 Eastern. So thank you guys so much. And
May,
thank you to
may I
John.
say something real
Oh,
fast?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Ethan,
Ethan.
I want to say something to Ethan. Hi, Ethan. When you first came on, before you went off, before you played your music, I mean this in the most beautiful way. Don't take offense to it, but you creep me the hell out. Your beautiful glasses, I couldn't see the sides. It just looked like hollow eyes. It was like the best horror movie ever. It was like you was looking into my soul. But I mean that with love. But also you played beautifully. But I just wanted to tell you that it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen other than like a movie, and it was wonderful. I love scary shit.
Well,
So I
they're
just
digging
wanted
it.
the
Ethan's like the most
glasses are just perfect.
Ethan's like the most mellow agent on the Matrix. But
Yeah, yeah.
but uh but yeah, definitely come back. It's a unique family. More people are joining us all the time, and some friends might be coming back for the holidays. We'll let you know. So thank you guys very much. Obligatory wave time. Have a great evening, everyone. Take care of yourself. Take care of someone else. Hope to see you all just as just come by next week as a basic coping mechanism before Thanksgiving. It does wonders for me. Have a great night, and I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11. That one's for you, Mark. Take care and have a great evening. Show's over. See you next time.